Well, I don't think he is a cunt though, is he? Toad?
Toad? No, he seems all right. I think he's dead though right now, technically.
Oh, fucking everybody's dead.
Well, I mean,
You
it's
know.
hard to tell at the moment because of the whole Age of Revelation stuff. I've not been following any of
Try to
that, which is
guess.
nice.
Try to guess how many times the scorpion died. Well, it'll be on the show.
All right, I'll make my guess. I'll make my guess now, and then later on when we were talking about the scorpion, you can tell me if I'm right or wrong. He strikes
Okay.
me as someone
I
who
mean, this is
maybe he's died twice. He strikes me like it seems like he's the right level. You could kill him a couple of times.
that your guess.
I'm gonna say twice. Yeah.
Okay. I like how you said I'm gonna keep it for the podcast and then immediately said it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is I'll tell you, and then later on when we're talking about the scorpion, you can tell me if I'm right or wrong.
You'll find that.
I will
As
find.
far as my research has guided me, I know a answer.
Okay, there we go.
The research wasn't totally, you know, totally
Well,
perfect. We'll see.
well,
We'll see what
again,
happens.
again, it's one of those things like, and this is kind of why I'm glad. By the way, this is the show. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Smark Avengers. My name is Corey, and with me is Dylan. John is not with us. He has other things to do.
He is trying to reopen Corey's government.
Best of luck to him. It's gonna be really funny when this video comes out in the middle of November if the government is still shut down.
Well, hey,
It could
if it
happen.
comes out in the middle of November and the government's back to work, John did it.
Hey, what a success! So,
Yeah.
John is out there fighting for the common man in a country he's not even a member of. We're holding it down here with just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us, you and I, Dylan. And we're here to talk about the Scorpion, right?
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic
Oh,
the Hedgehog.
yeah.
Do you think? Okay, all right. Well, actually, we'll segue that and we'll do a soft lead into talking about Scorpion. Um,
Uh-huh.
so Sonic is like teaming up with DC Comics. We talked about this a little bit already, but
Yeah.
if Sonic were to team up with Marvel instead of DC, do you,
Yeah.
what characters do you see Sonic interacting with, like Sonic and the rest of his crew? They don't strike me as X-Men
You
people.
mean
I don't know why.
you mean superheroes or supervillains?
We'll go both. We'll go both.
Well, in Sonic lore, his enemy is Dr. Eggman, so you're probably talking about egg-based villains, right?
Yeah,
Egghead.
but I mean, well, Egg
And
Foo
that
is a DC, but unfortunately, we can't use Egg
but he's
Foo
not they didn't put him in the fucking crossover,
because he's
you
problematic.
know? Not anymore. They changed him. His
Yeah,
eyes are normal now.
yeah, he doesn't have a mustache anymore.
No, it's all right. You know.
It's totally fine.
Who else is is it just Egghead?
I
That's
think
the
it's just
only
Egghead,
egg based.
and I mean, did they bring him back after Hank Pym killed him?
I mean, like, why would they?
Yeah, exactly.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
You know. Who else are they gonna say? Like Machine Man,
Machine Man. Yeah,
Machine Smith.
Machine Smith.
That's
That's a
what I
good one.
mean.
What about?
Because he makes robots and Sonic beats up robots.
Yeah, yeah. Now, is that the same character who was just ahead in the Superior Foes of Spider-Man, or is that somebody else?
No, that was Silverman.
Silvermane. That's another one.
Well, I don't know if he's still ahead in the jar,
Oh, he was ahead on a RC car for a hot minute.
but he's not doing that. He's just a old man.
There you go.
So
Do you think he'd get along with Spider-Man though?
I don't know if anybody gets on with Spider-Man.
Johnny Storm seems to like him a lot. If you read certain fan
Really?
fictions,
I don't, and you know I don't.
I'm just saying.
We should do that whenever John comes back. We'll just read loads of like horrible fan fiction
Yeah, we'll read
to
slash fic.
John.
We'll read slash fic,
Yeah,
and we'll have John critique it.
and he'll be like, "Well, I love this." He'll be
That
like, "I have to leave the podcast for 5 minutes."
Yep.
I'm like, "Okay."
We just hear a gunshot on the other side of the room.
Oh, that's not at all.
We had two
Thing
different
I
angles
thought
on
he was
that
gonna.
one, did we?
Maybe that's just how he jerks off. I don't know.
He has to give himself a grazing shot in order to climax. It's kind of like
He really
autoerotic
likes that.
asphyxiation, but harder.
Yeah, with a gun. Yeah, he really takes it seriously, man.
Yeah, you don't fuck around
This
with
is
that kind of
why he's
stuff.
trying to get Congress back in business because he needs to go back out and buy some more guns.
Yep. Well, also, it's really cutting into his time because he's having to sit there and like go to every Capitol building in the United States. There's 50 of them, and I don't know if John can
Yeah.
drive. Every time I've ever talked to him
Well,
about
it's gonna
going,
be
yeah, every time I've ever talked to him about going anywhere, he's talked about taking a train, and our train system in America is nowhere near yours.
tough driving to Hawaii,
It will be very difficult.
but not impossible.
No, it can be done.
I believe in John, who, as we've established, may or may not be able to actually drive. So
Yes. So anyway, Dylan, you and John in particular are both big Spider-Man guys.
yes,
I am not for the most part. I Most of my Spider-Man exposure came from the '90s cartoon series and reading
yes,
some '90s like McFarlane era Spider-Man. So when it comes to the
yes.
character, there's a lot that I don't really know aside from the sort of shallow surface level from what the animated series was able to provide. Now, the one of the times I wasn't around for the show, you guys did a whole episode about the Spider-Man animated series, which is kind of a shame that I missed that one because I could have contributed a little bit.
We can do it again.
That would
That's a
be
good show. We'll just talk about it again.
Yeah. We'll touch base on that one again sometime. But
Yeah.
when it comes down to it, there's a lot of and I guess this is why I was kind of really interested in when we were originally talking about like what are topics that you and I could talk about if John was gone and Spider-Man villains came up because outside of like some of the movies and the animated series, I don't know too much about some of the villains. So like
Yeah.
I know a lot about Norman Osborn because Norman Osborn gets used a lot. I know a lot about Dr. Octopus because he gets used a lot. Venom, same deal. But a character in this, and why I was excited that we picked this one first, a character that when I was a kid, I thought was a bigger deal than maybe he is or was the Scorpion. I remember having the toy. I remember him having a Happy Meal toy in McDonald's as well. And I remember like his episode of the animated series and him showing up for like the Sinister Six and stuff. And I just remember thinking like Scorpion's like a bigger deal villain. And then of course as I got older and was actually reading comics, I don't think I've read a single fucking comic where the Scorpion was featured.
Okay.
As the Scorpion at least because I read Dark Avengers when that first started, in the late 2000s, but he wasn't the Scorpion at that point anymore. He was Venom.
It was.
So,
So,
so yeah, I'm hoping that you and
um,
I could have a conversation about the Scorpion. You can fill me in, kind of how like we did our Hobgoblin deep dive, but probably not as big because there's only been one Scorpion to my knowledge. There has not been. Okay, see, we're already learning. So there have been two of them. Okay, so here's what I know of the Scorpion, and this is again from the animated series. So I know that the Scorpion was a dude that J. Jonah Jameson hired to basically like beat the piss out of Spider-Man, or at least defame him.
okay.
At least defame him, I think.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
the suit did I at least remember in the cartoon, I remember the suit made him go kind of nuts. Kind of was like an HGH kind of deal with him or steroid thing. And then he turned on J. Jonah Jameson and tried to kill him, and Spider-Man had to save him.
Yeah.
And that would be the full extent of my knowledge on the Scorpion. Aside from, again, I
Okay,
know
cool.
he was a Venom host for a hot minute, and I know that he has been associated with the Sinister Six, or at least was in the cartoon.
He was in the cartoon. I don't think he was in the TV show. No, that's not right. He was in the cartoon. I don't think he was in the comics. That's what I meant to say.
Okay.
The Sinister Six in the comics was Doctor Octopus, And 5 others.
Yep. We did a whole episode where we picked our own Sinister Six, and part of that was talking about the history of the Sinister Six. It's been something we've touched on in the
Doctor
past.
Octopus.
Craven?
Whoa. Doctor Octopus. Chameleon. Mysterio.
Craven?
Craven. Oh, who are the other two?
Vulture?
Vulture? Was it Vulture in it?
Paste Pot Pete?
Oh, Electro.
Electro.
Yeah. Trapster. He goes by the Trapster now, please.
I like the Paste Pot Pete better. But anyway, continue.
I like the Trapster better. So, you are correct in the things that you know about the Scorpion. In essence, you also know that his name is Mac.
Yes. Mac Gargan.
What is his second name? Mac Gargan. Correct.
Yes.
I looked it up today to do some research on the Scorpion. Do you know what his first name actually is?
What is it?
McDonald. McDonald Gargan. And I'm like, I don't think that's the first name.
I've never heard anyone whose first name is McDonald.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that's the second name. I don't think that's the first name. So that's what I've been told. His name is McDonald Gargan. So you can see why that guy would turn to a life of crime.
Yeah.
Not doing him any favors right there. So McDonald Gargan used to be. I'm gonna call him by his full name just because it's so stupid. The whole show, the whole 6 hours is gonna take. We're gonna be on this for a long time talking about McDonald Gargan and his shenanigans. He started off as a private investigator. Jonah Jameson hired him because he wanted to find out what the connection between Peter Parker and Spider-Man was. Jonah Jameson, famed news editor and publisher of the Daily Bugle, has been around the block for many, many years, knew that Peter Parker took pictures of Spider-Man all the time, couldn't figure out how he did it. How does Peter Parker always be around Spider-Man at the right time? He couldn't figure it out. There's no logical explanation. So he hired Mac Donald Gargan to find that answer out, which he failed to do. So, because Spider-Man's got that spider sense that warns him whenever there's any kind of suspicion around. The spider sense has been pretty fluid over the years, because you're like, is McDonald Gargan just being there? Like, is that dangerous? I don't know. Like, what? How do you define danger?
Yeah, because then it's going off all the time. He lives in New York City, for God's sake.
It's always a fucking prick with a knife knocking around, you know? As I understand it, I've never been. And I don't think I'd be welcome. I get stabbed, probably. Plus all the other stuff I've said about America over the years. you know?
I think you'll find most New Yorkers will disagree with you, though, to be fair.
I hope so. Plus they do pizza.
Yeah?
I'd like to get the pizza. McDonald Gargan, our old friend. Our favorite character in Spider-Man lore. So spider sense, we didn't know how that worked. That was a whole unusual thing.
Yes.
And after an issue of this, Jonah Jameson was like, "It's not working. We're gonna have to try something more drastic. Instead of trying to find out what Peter Parker and Spider-Man have in common, which could be anything, we'll never know. Instead of that, I'll just find a way to fucking kill Spider-Man." Yeah?
Easiest solution.
Me, J. Jameson. Yeah. So, covertly, he didn't tell anybody this. He did this as a secret. J. Jonah Jameson was like, "Here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, instead of you being a private investigator, I'm just going to hire a guy to fuck around with you and your mind, to turn you into an animal, because Spider-Man's a spider, so you can be an animal and then you can beat him up. And Donald Gargan was like, "Sounds good to me, boss. You gonna pay me?" J. Jonah Jameson said yes. So that started. I believe the Tinkerer was the one that made the suit for McDonald Gargan. I have my book of notes. But the actual guy that did the brain stuff that made him feel like an animal was Farley Stillwell, famous character Farley Stillwell, who reoccurs time and time again. Corey's got a puzzled look on his face that
Does he?
suggests either I've heard that name or I don't know who the fuck Farley Stillwell
I
is.
don't think I've ever heard of Farley Stillwell.
Well, he's the guy that made the Scorpion.
Did he do anything else?
So anyway,
So I guess okay, real quick before we get too far along. So McDonald Gargan is a private investigator. That's his job. And
yes,
so like he gets hired like hey, we're going to follow around this guy and we're going to try to see what he has to do with Spider-Man, and because of Peter Parker's spider sense, the plan doesn't work. Because spider sense can
yes,
be whatever it is you need it to be in any given moment, and in this moment it was hey, this guy's following me around.
yep.
So the change of topic is all right, cool. We're gonna do something drastic. We're gonna try to kill Spider-Man, and you, private
Yep.
investigator, which is a job, just a job you can have. You can just be a private investigator. I'm gonna have a guy experiment on your body, and that's
Mhm.
how we're gonna do this. So at what point, like in MacDonald Gargan's just cool with this.
But he got paid.
So you can get paid doing lots of things. my question, my question is,
That's what I've heard.
was was it established that he was like a shitty private eye, and that's why he would be willing to like take this money to forever alter his body chemistry?
I don't know how well established it was because, as far as I know, MacDonald Gargan got introduced in episode issue 19. I believe
Early, real
the
early.
I believe the transformation happened in issue 20, the next issue. So I don't know how much. I feel it was implied that he's not a very good investigator. So they were like, "Fucking, let's just make him into a Scorpion."
The second
So they
question.
picked a Scorpion.
So, but real
Okay.
quick. Second question. The other thing I have is how much money is J. Jonah Jameson like running with that he's able to? Because like hiring a private investigator can be pricey, yes, because you're paying by the hour for the most part. But like more
Mm.
importantly, he paid for someone to illegally have their body experimented on. Like that has to
Yeah.
cost a pretty penny as well. So like, is being the
I
editor
don't
in chief of a
remember.
newspaper in the 1960s that profitable?
I don't remember what the number was. I feel like it was 50,000.
That's a lot. That's a good bit.
I feel like that was the number, especially in the 60s, when money meant something. Not like now where it's all fucking nonsense. You know, inflation and what have you. Like that doesn't make any sense. You can't inflate money.
I'm gonna look up that
So as
inflation.
I like how you're looking that up and not looking up to see if it actually was 50,000 or not.
I'm taking your word for it.
Well, my word has never steered
Uh,
anybody wrong.
about $500,000 today's day today. About half a mil. So yeah,
I mean, if some newspaper guy offered you that to become a Scorpion, you'd think about it.
think about it.
You definitely think about it,
Yeah,
know.
there'd be
But
thoughts.
obviously, McDonald Gargan being the kind of guy that he is, the fact that he said yes so quickly indicates that he's not very good at his job.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that he did not get the results that he wanted also indicates that he's not very good at his job.
Well, to be fair, usually
So,
private investigators are like, "Hey, is this guy committing welfare fraud?" or "Hey, is this guy cheating on his wife?" It's usually not, "Hey, I need you to stealthily spy on the superhero." Not that he knew that
yeah,
Peter
no,
Parker was a superhero. Yeah.
he's just like follow this photographer around. You're like, well, that seems easy. How hard could that be? You know?
$50,000 hard.
Um, It's weird because he keeps disappearing into an alleyway, and then I look for him and I can't find him.
Yeah.
But I do see Spider-Man swinging away, and then a big bag full of like webbed up clothes in the alleyway. I just can't put it together.
Well, clearly, whoever
Can't
was wearing
figure it
these
out.
clothes was eaten by a spider.
You're just gonna have to turn me into a scorpion so I can kill him.
Nope, it's the
The
only
only
way.
option.
It's the only way. So you were saying why
So
they
they
chose
went
a
for
scorpion?
scorpion because it's like a predator of a spider.
Okay.
You don't look at
I
all.
don't. Now, admittedly, science was not a favorite topic of mine in school. I don't know for a fact that scorpions hunt spiders.
Get your Google machine out.
Okay.
What
I
else would you have eat a spider? A
bird.
bird? No. We already have the vulture. We can't do it again. We're gonna do scorpion. Get your Marvel hat on, Corey. Come on. What exactly are
Scorpions
you
can eat
googling?
spiders.
There you go.
Some species, such as the spider hunting scorpion, specialize in eating spiders. So there you go.
Ding, 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 ding. That one seems to be the one that they tried to put inside McDonald Gargan. So he thought, well, I'll do this, no problem. Um, they give him like that strange mentality where he thinks like a, I don't want to say he thinks like a scorpion, but like they mess with his mind, and then the Tinkerer like built him a suit, and the suit had it was like armor and had a big clubbing tail. Okay, original Scorpion didn't have a stinger in the tail,
No, it was just a big
which to me
fist thing looking.
is fucking stupid.
It was a
Right?
bit dumb looking, yes.
Not the dumb looking. What's the most characteristic thing about a scorpion? It's fucking stingy ass tail.
And claws.
Crabs have those. Crabs have those. Lobsters have those.
The crab. That's who they should have also gotten to go after.
Scorpion has stingy ass tail.
Okay.
That's the scorpion's fucking thing, right? So to give him a tail, it's just like a stick. I'm like, come on, guys, do better. By the way, I tried to figure out. I tried to find out when they put the stinger into the tail. Okay, because if we're talking about the original appearance of the scorpion,
Yes.
McDonald Gargan, that was in Amazing Spider-Man 19 in December 1964. Okay, 1964.
Yes.
And when do you think they gave the scorpion a stinger?
That seems like a real 90s thing for me for some reason.
Does it?
It does. Because I can imagine somebody
Is it-
like a McFarlane giving him a big curved looking blade on the end of it. No, when did they
Yeah.
give it to him?
Honestly, you're not far off on a
Oh.
lot of those points. From my research,
Okay.
I find two different things. And one of them was that Justin Hammer in a comic illustrated by Todd McFarlane.
Hey.
Justin Hammer upgraded the Scorpion suit to make him be a he was doling out different suits to people, and he upgraded the Scorpion suit under the assumption that the Scorpion would do him a favor and give him a stinger. Now, so that was in late 1990, I believe. If I got my facts on that one correct, October 1990. But I've heard from other sources that really the Scorpion had this stinger at least since the Acts of Vengeance, which was a storyline that happened around late 1989.
Okay.
So let's ballpark it and say 1989/1990. I believe the correct answer is 1989. But even then,
So we're looking at 20 years without
19
a stinger on that tail.
more than that, 1964 to 1989, he just had a big fucking club, and nobody thought we gotta give this Scorpion a fucking stinger. Like, come on, dude. I will say, Todd McFarlane draws a lovely Scorpion.
I imagine he does. Todd's great. The Todd father, as many people refer to him.
He's not my father. I want to put that out there on the record.
Okay.
So,
We're not an heir to the McFarlane fortune.
no. He's probably spent on drugs. People do that.
Yeah, they
So,
certainly do.
they do. So, the Scorpion is now ready to go to fight Spider-Man, his natural enemy, and he beats him up. Spider-Man loses to McDonald Gargan, aka the Scorpion. Scorpion gets a big head on him, and it's like I could beat anybody. So, I'm gonna say this: the fact that they messed with his head to make him think that he was a fucking scorpion, that probably like did a little number. You know what I
Probably
mean?
didn't need to do that.
No, I can't say that was super cool. Like all the other guys, the Vulture, etc. They just put a suit on and they're like, "Now I'm the Vulture." Nobody was like, "I gotta fuck you in your head to make you think you're a bird." You know, a bit. It's no need for that. Because like we said, birds eat spiders anyway. So like,
Yeah,
I don't know if vultures do, but you know,
eat roadkill,
Blackbird
dead
didn't seem
animals.
fucking yeah. You know. So um. The next time Scorpion beats him twice, which is impressive. Because this is like early on Spider-Man, he's doing pretty well for himself. And then Scorpion beats him. But the insanity begins to creep in. And that is a theme with our good pal McDonald Gargan, is his just rampant insanity. So Spider-Man is able to best him the third time. And kind of puts pay to Scorpion for a long time. After this, the Scorpion has a deep hatred for Spider-Man, making him look silly, and also, unsurprisingly, a deep, deep hatred for J. Jonah Jameson, who did all that shit to him. You can understand why.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. So, where am I my notes? After this, he fought like Captain America and stuff, but like it was just you introduce a new guy, you
Yeah.
make him walk around and see the sights, and then you come back to Spider-Man. Right? It's happened to everybody. That's what happens.
I mean,
They
Sandman
they
was an
fight
Avenger, you know?
Spider-Man. Everybody's like Doctor Octopus has fought people. Uh, uh, somebody else,
Yeah.
Chameleon, Mysterio.
Yeah.
They take a walk around the block and see who else is out there. And then they come back to Spider-Man. Sometimes if they don't shoot themselves in the head. Mysterio bit. Don't interpret that as anything else. Don't cut this bit from the podcast. Talking about Mysterio. So like he didn't really do a whole lot of stuff, and this is gonna be like a recurring theme throughout McDonald Gargan's story career, is that he's kind of there, but he doesn't really do a whole lot. And I suspect this would explain why there was such a big gap between his original appearance and then the Stinger appearing in the late 80s, early 90s. Is just because they didn't really use him that often or to like a high profile degree. So I can't think of like really. It's funny as well because like you said, in the 90s in the TV show, all of the villains you see in the TV show, you kind of think, oh, they're Spider-Man's big fucking villains.
Yeah,
They're big
they
deals.
felt special, yeah.
Yeah. And I think Scorpion was used because there was a bit of a renaissance of the Scorpion at the comics recently, but also because he's a very good visual character.
Yeah.
He looks great.
Which is really funny though when you think about it, because that original Scorpion design that he had, I mean, there really wasn't
terrible.
much to it. Yeah, it was just a green bodysuit that covered up most of his body except for his eyes, and it was just had lines. That's all it was. Just horizontal lines in green, and then a tail with no stinger.
Yeah, it didn't look good. But then once, I think at some point they're like, the character as is isn't gonna work. We'll give him a bit of a redesign. And they brought him back. So like obviously he did stuff in between the 60s and the 90s, but like it's not important.
Yeah.
He came back and Justin Hammer revamped him, gave him a new costume. And Justin Hammer, of course, would give people upgrades or new outfits in return for being his lackeys, and he would get a cut of the money. So he said, I'm going to give this to Mac Gargan, but I need him to do a mission for me. I want him to kidnap a guy, like a general, from another country who was visiting the United States because Justin Hammer wanted that guy brought back to him for some hostage negotiation business, um, benefit some of his other beneficiaries. Justin Hammer's a very complicated man, you know. McDonald Gargan turns up with his new stinger ready to go, and Spider-Man makes some sort of like offhand reference to J. Jonah Jameson, and Gargan immediately is like, "Okay, hold the phone, change your plans. I'm not bringing this guy back to Justin Hammer. I'm gonna hold him hostage myself until somebody brings me J. Jonah Jameson." So they have a standoff for a bit. This doesn't end the way Scorpion wants it to, in that he does not get to kill J. Jonah Jameson.
Naturally.
Dreadful shame. And he gets his ass kicked. After that, I remember a comic in the mid 90s in the Own Saga where McDonald Gargan upgrades his uniform again. It looks really, really cool. And he kidnaps J. Jonah Jameson for real. And he has this thing where, like, if he stings you 3 times, you die. So, like, the first sting is like a neutralizer kind of sting, and then the second sting is like a real like slow burning proper poison, and then the third sting is like that delivers the final blow. Like if you get stung 3 times, you're dead instantly. I believe he stings Jonah Jameson twice with the intent of stinging him a third time. And then Spider-Man ends up teaming up with like Power Man and Iron Fist for some reason to beat up the Scorpion. I don't know. But this was the first time I'd ever heard of these characters.
I mean, it was the heroes for hire, so perhaps he paid them good money to help out.
I'm not sure. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I read that, but I remember the artwork was it made the Scorpion look sick as hell, and also quite insane. I'm like, this is great. Like, there's stuff you can do with this guy, you know. Then they didn't really do stuff with him for a long time. Which is again, so like I don't remember the Scorpion doing much from that point in the 90s up until the next bit we're going to talk about. So you can see that so far the Scorpion's run has been pretty hit or miss, with an awful lot of misses.
Yeah, which is kind of traditional for like you introduce a villain. Like they're gonna have a big story, then they might have another good story or two, but for the most part they're really not going to be they're either not around or they're getting clowned on a little bit.
Yes, and I would say that Scorpion got clowned on a lot. So, like I said, in the TV show, he seems like a big deal, and he has a cool design. He's interesting, but in reality, in the comics, like I don't think anybody's really gonna pick me up too much on being like, "Oh, you forgot this." I'm like, I don't think I did. I mentioned stuff. I mentioned the Acts of Vengeance. He didn't really do a whole lot in that either. Acts of Vengeance was this story where somebody thought, I don't remember who. Somebody thought it'd be a good idea. Maybe it was Doctor Doom. Somebody thought it'd be a good idea for like all of the villains to fight different heroes. Somebody noticed, hey, Spider-Man always beats up Dr. Octopus, but how would he fight, a different villain? He wouldn't see it coming. So that was that whole storyline was just all the heroes fight different villains, and then they all get their asses kicked anyway, and then don't learn any lessons, and then they go. So, we're gonna fast forward quite a significant bit because I don't remember Scorpion doing anything for a long time, and then they made what is now quite an infamous run that you've previously mentioned. But let me explain it a little bit.
Okay.
Norman Osborn is in prison for all the crimes. He did a lot of crimes, and he is in prison. And at some point, he doesn't like being in prison. He's like, oh, I like going out and just killing people and being a goblin. So he comes up with this crazy plan where he reveals to McDonald Gargan that Spider-Man is actually Peter Parker. So Norman Osborn, with this knowledge, picks one of the most mentally unstable people in Spider-Man lore, as we've covered. He's clinically insane many times, and he trusts McDonald Gargan with that secret. And McDonald Gargan, I believe Mark Miller wrote this. McDonald Gargan was like, I'm a different, but I don't have the suit on. I guess I'm not insane, you know. So he very calmly
Oh, Mark Miller.
and he very calmly tells Peter Parker that he knows that he's Spider-Man. I think they're in like a cafe or whatever. They're sitting outside.
Having
He's
an
like, "Hey, by the
espresso,
way, fuck you," you know.
some
So
biscotti.
Mac
I know your darkest
McDonald
secret.
Gargan, they're good biscuits. McDonald Gargan kidnaps Aunt May. It's always Aunt May. It's got to be Aunt May.
This
With
septuagenarian woman.
the understanding that if Peter Parker, Spider-Man, wants to see his crazy old aunt back again, he has to do one thing, and that thing is to break Norman Osborn out of prison. And Spider-Man, who's been doing this for 70 years,
Yeah.
thinks, I can't think of a other way around this situation. I'm gonna have to do it.
Like, surely I can't rescue
And
my
there's
aunt.
no way. The way that I've done plenty of times
Yeah.
before in the past, including at the hands of
Are you,
Norman
are you
Osborn.
implying that Mark Miller doesn't do his research or any prior reading before he decides to take a shit on a comic book run?
Not that specifically. What I'm saying is the build up to this is incredibly lazy.
That's about
That's
right.
what I'm saying. I think that it just I remember reading it and not enjoying this for a multitude of reasons. And one of the reasons was like this bit doesn't make any sense. I can see Norman Osborn coming up with this scheme to get out of prison, sure. I don't think the scheme is I'm gonna tell the most insane person in the world an incredibly important secret and just assume he won't tell anybody else. and then get him to coerce Spider-Man to do the worst thing in the world, which is to help his mortal enemy get out of prison
Like you do.
in exchange for giving him his old decrepit Aunt May back again, who Norman Osborn, has already fucked over plenty of times and kidnapped for fucking years. And pretended that she died just to fuck over Spider-Man.
And mind you, Aunt May does not realize that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. She just keeps thinking these weird costumed villains keep kidnapping me for some reason.
Yeah, that's what's really annoying about bringing her back, right? Because when she died in the Clone Saga, she revealed to Peter Parker before she died, she's like, I've always known you're Spider-Man
Yeah, I'm
because
not
I'm not
stupid.
a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I'm not stupid.
Yeah. And it turns out that was just a lie, and she was stupid, and she was kidnapped by the Green Goblin for like years, and then just went about her business and forgot about it.
She had to go bingo.
Like, don't worry. Yeah. There's no issue here whatsoever. So then she gets kidnapped by the Scorpion. Well, she gets kidnapped by McDonald Gargan. I don't know. I would assume that she does not get kidnapped by the Scorpion, right? Because of how the story plays out.
Yeah.
The Scorpion is not mentioned or shown. McDonald Gargan is shown in this comic. Okay? So you would assume that the old lady is kidnapped again by the most mentally unstable person in the Spider-Man universe. Like, if it's that easy that McDonald Gargan can do it, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Guys.
Well, I mean, he's a former private investigator.
Yep, who couldn't figure out that Peter Parker was Spider-Man.
I mean, to be fair, if they're like, "Hey, I need you to follow around this," hey, I need you to follow this teenage boy around. I'm sure he wasn't thinking like, "Oh, this will be difficult."
Norman Osborn had to tell him. That's got to be infuriating if you're Mac Gargan, McDonald
Right.
Gargan. I'm
Did
sorry.
that ever get followed up on? Did McDonald Gargan just
No,
be like,
fuck
what the
no.
fuck?
I guarantee you,
I threw my life
Mark Miller
away for
didn't.
this.
I bet you Mark Miller didn't even know that McDonald Gargan was
He
a
didn't read
private
shit. He
investigator.
didn't read shit. He didn't read a goddamn thing.
So already we're not off the flying start. Spider-Man breaks Norman Osborn out of prison, and Norman Osborn's like, "See you later, sucker," and runs away. And then Spider-Man and the Black Cat. Spider-Man's like, "Who am I gonna get to help me with this? It's got to be the
thief.
Black Cat and nobody else."
I need a
Yeah,
thief.
I have tons of friends. You talked earlier about how great he was, great friends with Johnny Storm. Nowhere to be seen.
Nope.
Fuck the Fantastic Four. Not talking about them. We don't need them. I need a cat. I need a woman with extreme cleavage to be able to help me sort this problem out.
Don't we all?
They break out of prison. Not that problem. Some problems.
There's some
Other
problems.
problems,
Other
sir.
problems, yes.
Yeah, not that one. Because the problem is now that Spider-Man has broken Norman Osborn out of the prison, he's faced with the Sinister 12,
Oh god.
which is just 12. Yeah, 12 of Spider-Man's villains. They're all like,
Seems
"We're gonna get
excessive.
you."
Seems excessive.
Well, you thought the Sinister Six was bad. Imagine the Sinister 12. I didn't actually write down who the Sinister 12 were, but I know who one of them is for sure, and it's Hydra Man. So,
I do feel like I do feel like we discussed the Sinister 12 on that episode where we were picking our own.
we must have. We must have. So let me see if I can find a list. Okay. I believe this is the group. Google says, helpfully, the group was formed to kill Spider-Man.
As
Thanks,
one
bud.
as they are wont to do.
Real helpful. Green Goblin, Norman Osborn, the Vulture, Sandman, Electro, Shocker, Hydra Man, my boy, Tombstone, the Lizard. But like, why would the Lizard give a shit about this? Chameleon, the Boomerang, hitting all the heavy hitters,
Heavy hitters.
and then our good friend McDonald Gargan, who makes an appearance in the issue, not dressed as the
So
Scorpion.
he's not a scorpion, he's just McDonald Gargan.
But what does a scorpion have inside its tail? Weird goop.
Oh. True.
Yeah. I don't at all suspect that was the connection they made.
No. I
No.
guarantee you they did not
No.
think. Again, this is Mark Miller. He's
Right.
too busy thinking of like
feel like-
what kind of jerk off what kind of masturbation joke can I make?
Yeah. Well, and the Black Cat's right there.
Yeah.
So. No.
I need my character to look
I.
pathetic.
Oh well, that's this story. So, well, not really, because Spider-Man and the Black Cat pretty much like single-handedly beat the Sinister 12, including Mac Gargan, McDonald Gargan as the new Venom. So,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you're gonna introduce a big twist like that, maybe
Maybe
don't
he
have
should
him
win.
don't have him simping around with 11 other fucking guys, one of whom's the Green Goblin.
One of
you know,
whom's
and B,
Boomerang.
Don't have him lose to the Black Cat and Spider-Man. Like, you're gonna bring him in. He's supposed to be this big bad, and that's it. Like, he doesn't look great right off the bat. Plus, I hated his design. This is a real sticking point for me. I hate the design of McDonald Gargan as Venom because he has eyes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He has eyes because Venom and Carnage have like the bits
The
where
white
Spider-Man's
bit.
mask
Yeah,
would
yeah.
have been.
Because that's the idea, right?
Again-
Is they're trying to mimic Spider-Man's mask.
Correct. But then McDonald Gargan's Venom has the area where the eyes would be, and then regular human eyes.
Well, because he had
In the
regular
white
human
bit.
eyes in his costume, right? Maybe that's why.
No, well, in the costume, but he's not wearing the costume.
Yeah, I'm just saying maybe that's why it took that particular form. Because it's like, oh, well, his costume, he normally has his eyes out.
No, but remember we talked. He has a
Yeah,
circle in his eyes.
that one
He doesn't
version of the
have that in the
costume.
Venom.
Yes.
Well, he usually has some kind of
Yeah, yeah.
thing over his eyes. So now McDonald Gargan is the Venom, and they stuck with this for fucking ever. They stuck with this for a long time, and I potentially this was the beginning of my dislike for symbiotes.
Yeah.
At some point in the 2000s and beyond, they just didn't know what to do with the symbiotes.
Some would say they still
And
don't.
hey, why don't we just rip Carnage in half and then make the Scorpion into Venom? Like, oh hey, why don't not do those two things? Don't do those two things. They were like,
Iconic
no, no, no,
moments
no,
of
we're
the
gonna do them.
2000s for symbiotes. Eddie Brock's got
We
cancer, and Carnage got ripped in half by the Sentry.
did. So the Venom symbiote picked a new host. That host was McDonald Gargan. I don't know how, and I don't know if Norman Osborn knew that this was going to happen, and then that's why he picked McDonald Gargan, or if he already knew that McDonald Gargan was Venom. Because I will say this: if McDonald Gargan became Venom, wouldn't he already know who Spider-Man is?
Yeah, he would know just by the fact that the symbiote shares its knowledge.
Correct. So that means he must have had the symbiote after he made this deal with Norman Osborn. Because
The
otherwise,
symbiote's
why
like,
would Norman
"Hey, I
Osborn
got a
tell?
great secret for you. I know who Spider-Man is." And McDonald's just like, "Yeah, I know. Already know. Thanks."
Yeah, this fucking guy told me. You know,
Guy whose
I
head
also
looks
know
like
who the Green
carpet.
Goblin
He
is,
told me.
the weird looking dude. You know, so that was all weird. Anyway, Eddie Brock is very sick, and he goes to like a homeless shelter because he doesn't have anything else to live for. The homeless shelter is owned by Martin Lee, who is also known as Mr. Negative. And Mr. Negative has this weird power where, like, if he touches you, he can kind of like, well, bring out your negative side, you know.
Like he would.
And so, because Venom still, or Eddie Brock still had traces of the Venom symbiote in him, whenever Mr. Negative touched him, those traces of the Venom symbiote turned the opposite. They were no longer negative, they then became positive. And that somehow multiplied throughout Eddie Brock's body, causing him to no longer have cancer. And then also caused him to have a new symbiote suit, which was white
Yep.
with black stripes as opposed to black with white stripes, because he's the opposite of Venom. And what would be the opposite of Venom? Cure? No, it's anti-Venom. That's the opposite. So Eddie Brock is now anti-Venom. Now, at the time, Norman Osborn and McDonald Gargan have kept friendly with each other. And Norman Osborn has created his own team of Thunderbolts to help him as he becomes the mayor of New York, I think, or he tries to get into Shield. Is it Shield? I think he tries to get into Shield. So I don't think he's mayor in New York at this point, but he is a big person in people know who Norman Osborn is, and he's well respected. He's I think it's Shield. I'm not sure, but he's doing pretty well for himself. So he has the Thunderbolts to look after him, and McDonald Gargan and Eddie Brock come to blows at some point, and it turns out that anti-venom poisons Venom.
Oh,
Venom
geez.
starts to melt, and Venom doesn't like this.
No.
So they can't fight for too long because it hurts them. So they hastily retreat with McDonald Gargan in tow and bring him back to Oscorp, where they give him like a serum that will regenerate the Venom symbiote. But it'll take a long time. So to get to that point, Norman Osborn gives McDonald Gargan a suit to contain the Venom symbiote until it's good enough to be Venom again. And that suit is the Scorpion suit. So there is a little bit where you see McDonald Gargan as like a venomized scorpion,
Yeah, I remember
and
there
it does look,
being aspects of the Venom, but he had like a scorpion tail
yeah,
coming out his back.
it did look pretty cool. I mean, I'm like, that's the best design of. I just did not like the Venom
No.
design on McDonald Gargan, and I like that because that looked creepy. It looked weird. It
Yeah.
looked unnatural. I'm like, that's great, do that, and that lasted like an issue, and then we broke out of
You
the
did away with that.
yes, Bonita. So that was a storyline where we now had Anti Venom and Venom running around that I don't really think got followed up on too much. And then we've talked about Anti Venom and
Yep.
yeah, oh, it's Flash Thompson now. Why not?
Yep.
All that shit. So,
So Scorpion, though, he
um,
I know he around this a little bit after this is when they do the Dark Avengers, and he is posing as Spider-Man in Norman Osborn's Avengers lineup. So like he makes the Venom
yes,
symbiote suit like smaller to like more cover his body as opposed to look like a hulking beast.
yes,
And I know that he there's a period where like I don't know. A lot of guys kind of like I remember reading that Dark Avengers storyline and like he didn't really get a lot of shine or focus in it. He like for the most part I remember him just kind of being there, and then there was like a fight where they were fighting with the proper Avengers and something happens and he loses the symbiote for like a hot second, and then Captain Marvel gets it or Miss Marvel gets it,
yeah,
and then it goes back to
yes,
him. And yeah,
yeah,
he felt it was the only time I've ever seen like somebody with a symbiote not treated like a big deal. So it's like, oh
yes.
yeah, it's a scorpion with the symbiote, and that's pretty much how it got treated. It's like, oh, it's just a scorpion with a power upgrade.
Well, that's the thing. You would imagine if he went to all this effort to fucking put the symbiote on the Scorpion, it's to try and revitalize both characters. Venom for a long time had just been Eddie Brock, and they ran out of shit for him to do. So they thought, well, we need to do something different with the Venom symbiote. And the Scorpion, nobody been using him, as we've talked about. He's very patchy with his
Yeah,
career. They thought, well, let's revitalize this character and do 2-in-1, but it didn't really work. It didn't make the Venom look any. And they tried. They had this bit where like Venom was going around like eating people's limbs and stuff,
I
and
remember
then
that.
trying to frame Jonah. Yeah,
So we were
and
talking
like
about the hippo and how the hippo got one of his legs eaten by Venom.
so this whole thing went on like because that's like a more extreme version of Venom. The old Venom talked about eating brains, but like you didn't see McDonald Gargan's Venom actually
Yeah,
eating
he
people's
was
limbs,
into
like
it.
actually doing.
It seemed like he was much more into it.
Yeah, but like at no point in any of this did it seem like this guy was like that much of a threat. Like you said, he's just McDonald Gargan
Yeah,
in the Venom suit, and I don't think that's what they intended to do.
and they didn't.
I think they
They
really did.
didn't do enough with him. Then I mean, that's just that.
I agree, but I think that they thought they were revitalizing both characters, and I don't think that they
No,
did at all. I think they did damage to both of them,
I think
which
I
sucks.
think
And then
I mean I think Warren Ellis did his part with Thunderbolts when he
yeah,
was in that group. But and this is I'm not gonna turn this into an opportunity to talk shit about Brian Michael Bendis, but if the shoe fits, wear it. He was right in that Dark Avengers run and didn't do dick with him. That whole Dark Avengers run was
yes,
mainly focused on Norman Osborn and Sentry, and really no one
yes.
else.
Oh, you want to hear a fun thing about the Sentry?
Sure.
Um, So, we were talking earlier. How many times do you think McDonald Gargan has died?
Yeah, and my prediction was 2 times because he seems like the kind of person they'd kill off twice.
To my recollection, it was just once.
Okay.
And here's what they did. So, the Molecule Man. You familiar with the Molecule Man?
I am.
He can do all sorts of weird, wacky stuff
Basically
involving
alters reality.
molecules.
Yeah.
That's why they called him that. So the Molecule Man just had enough of fucking McDonald Gargan, and he turned McDonald Gargan and the symbiote just in the goo, which I would class as being dead.
I would say so.
Yeah.
It's
Now I haven't read
he's
this,
either
so I.
dead or it's the ending of I have no mouth but I must scream. You know, because that's what it sounds like happened. Is he got turned into like fucking AIM turned him into something.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. So I haven't read this, so I don't know the specifics of it. I'm just going by this part of the research. Molecule Man turned McDonald Gargan and the symbiote into goo, and then the Sentry just restored them.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
No, oh well, I want to a little bit because when has the Sentry been able to do that?
It has he done it again?
Has he ever done that?
It almost sounds like you wanna file a complaint against Brian Michael Bendis.
I think up to this point, I've been filing complaints about a lot of people. Mark Miller specifically.
Oh boy, yeah, no, I could do that
Yeah.
all day too. You know, it does occur to me that
Mm,
we definitely. I think it's of the three of us. I think I've made my enemies in the comic book industry well more known.
I think so.
So
John's
anyway,
very coy about who
he is. He doesn't like talking shit. He doesn't like talking shit. That John. He's a good boy. Um,
he will fight the American Senate.
if we will, but we will say that like actually no, I think Grant Morrison's X-Men run was great. And then he gets a little upset. Um,
I don't know what the fuck his problem is. It was great.
he doesn't. He like everybody else who hates that run don't like the fact that they had Magneto basically, to use your words and demonetize us, be a cunt.
I actually looked up the interview. Have you?
It was a
Did we
twat.
talk about this?
We did because he called him a twat.
He's a twat. Yes, but he. It's funnier to call him a cunt.
I think so as well.
You know,
So
we'll just beep it out with like funny noises. You know?
so Dark Avengers ends, and part of the Dark Avengers ending is a lot of those guys getting locked up, and Mac Gargan was forcefully removed from the symbiote. The symbiote became part of the property of the United States government, and that's how Flash Thompson got it. So what happens to our naked and afraid Mac Gargan, or McDonald Gargan, who has been associated with Venom for a good period of time now?
He goes back to being a Scorpion,
Oh, okay.
but this time it's a different inventor that gives him an upgraded Scorpion suit. It's Alistair Smythe,
Oh,
famous for
famous for the
the
cartoon.
Spider Slayer. Yeah, but the Spider Slayers who slayed
No spiders.
zero spiders,
None.
not a single spider. They thought, let's upgrade McDonald Gargan. He needs it. So they do this whole run where McDonald Gargan's working with Alistair Smith, and they do a thing where like I don't remember if it was MacDonald or if it was Alistair or the Spider Slayers. I don't remember. I did read it, but I don't remember. But they end up like cornering Spider-Man and some of his. I think they're trying to kill Jonah Jameson.
Of course.
Smythe doesn't like him either.
No.
And in the course of things, Jonah Jameson's wife, Martha, who Batman and Superman are very familiar with, jumps in front of. Thank you. She takes the damage for J. Jonah Jameson, and she dies
Okay.
in place of him, which I think everybody in the world was like,
Didn't need to.
you didn't have to do that. No, if we had to choose, we're definitely gonna pick the you know. But so that's a little. I think that's important because Scorpion is involved with that, even if he didn't. I don't remember if he did directly kill her, but he was involved with it, and that's a measure of revenge against the Jamesons. So later on, Doctor Octopus is dying, as you know.
Yes.
He gets very old and sick, and he's dying. So he makes a call to some people to try and break him out of prison. And the Scorpion is like, "Don't worry about it. I'm your man." Breaking people out of prison.
Done it
I'm
before.
vaguely aware of that concept.
All right, now
Yeah, well, he
I gotta
didn't.
kidnap this old woman.
Yeah. Well, now he's kidnapping an old man, an old dead corpse. So the Scorpion is one of three people to answer Doctor Octopus. Do you remember who the other two people are?
No, I don't know.
We have mentioned both of them
Well, I mean,
today.
you mentioned the Sinister 12, so I know I at least have potentially 11 options to pick from.
Yeah.
Electro,
No.
Shocker,
No.
Craven the no Hydra
I don't
Man.
think we didn't mention Shocker at all, did we?
No, you mentioned he was one of the Sinister 12.
Was he? I don't think
You
he
read the
was.
list, bud.
I did read this, and I'll find that list. Okay, he was on it. Yeah, all
Good old Herman.
right. Yeah, Hydra Man
Okay, Hydra Man's one of them.
is one of them.
Um,
Yeah.
Sandman,
No, the other one
Chameleon,
you should really remember.
Black.
No,
No, not Black Cat.
no. Somebody you specifically mentioned.
I don't know. I'm gonna draw a blank. I could sit here and guess all day.
The Trapster.
Oh, good old Paste Pot Pete.
No.
I like
The
the
Trapster.
alliteration, Dylan.
I like the Trapster. It's cool.
That's fair. That is a better name, admittedly.
As far as I remember, it was those three guys. It was definitely Hydra Man
Okay.
and the Scorpion.
We got the
I think it
power
was
of
the Trapster.
Scorpion, glue, and water.
You know what? Fuck it. Who cares?
Yep.
It's
So
just
they're
there, I
trying
was
to
right.
break.
I
They gotta
couldn't
break
answer.
Doctor Octopus out of prison.
Which they do, and then they bring him to Stark Industries, where
Okay.
a lot of Spider-Man's friends and well, not foes, friends and relatives are hiding out. Because at this point, as we know, Doctor Octopus's mind is now inside Spider-Man's body.
Yes.
So Doctor Octopus, anticipating Peter Parker fighting back somehow, assembled all of Peter Parker's, associates in Stark Industries to try and deter some kind of attack from a crippled, dead
A dead body.
octopus body man. Yeah. So what happens during this is good old McDonald Gargan realizes that Jonah Jameson is in the building as well, and thus, as he often is wont to do, kind of neglects his own duties and tries to kill J. Jonah Jameson.
Like you know.
Now,
He
but
does.
this point, he loves killing, and he loves hating J. Jonah Jameson. At this point, enough of Spider-Man's memories are mingling with Doctor Octopus's memories. The point where Doctor Octopus has some kind of affinity for all these people now, and Peter Parker's just raw goodness and dislike for anybody dying, and takes over. And so instinctively, Doctor Octopus, as a superior Spider-Man, stops McDonald Gargan from destroying J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah.
And the way he does this is he punches him so hard. He punches the Scorpion so hard that his jaw just like flies off his body. So whole
Completely
jaw.
removed the bone.
Yeah,
The
all
muscles
gone.
holding it.
So
All of it gone.
just he's fucked.
Ugh.
So after this, again, Smythe gets together with McDonald Gargan and like makes like a metallic
Mandible
fixture
form.
for his
Yeah.
jaw. Yeah, that's cool. There is something happens where like he gets healed, and what I would imagine is a very unsatisfactory manner. But McDonald Gargan works with this the Spider Slayers for a bit, And then during the King in Black storyline, Null comes back to Earth, and Carnage. No, it's the absolute Carnage, but I think where Carnage is going around to collect all of the
No, the symbiotes.
codexes
Yeah.
within people. Anybody that has worn a symbiote has some trace of that symbiote inside them, and Carnage is trying to take it out of them to summon Null. And McDonald Gargan is one of the guys that they are um, targeting, and he does not paint a good picture in this. He just runs away like a little baby, a
Yeah, I
lot,
imagine it doesn't go
and
well for
begs.
him.
Yep. So that happens. There is something that happens with him and Lee Price. It was like the fourth or fifth Venom, and a thing that I'm sure we already talked about in the symbiotes episode
Yeah.
that I fucking hated. Fucking hated it. So he has something to do with that, but it's not important. None of that was important. And I think we're coming to the end of this where we're saying the Scorpion is not important. The Scorpion has
Yeah.
continued to do stuff recently, but like it's not worth talking about. None of this is really
Yeah.
that important.
I mean, essentially, it sounds like if I came to you, and maybe we do this at one point, and I'm like, hey, I'd love to do an episode where I talk about the Scarecrow from DC Comics. There's a couple of storylines I could bring up, but for the most part, it's like Scarecrow shows up, scares some people, gets a shit kicked out of him, throw him back in jail. It sounds very reminiscent of that. But it is really funny how like
Yeah.
that animated series did paint this image of like I feel like he should be a big deal. And
Yeah.
like
It
he's
seems
he's so far below. Like I remembered like, you know, like I remember being like listening to you guys talk about Hobgoblin and like how much you guys loved
yeah.
him and like all of his big moments, all these big storylines and stuff. And I remember being a kid and thinking like, yeah, Hobgoblin's a pretty big deal. Like the Scorpion's a big deal, right? No. Not at all. Not one bit.
Mhm.
I almost like
Oh,
it it seems like I would say if you were to call the Scorpion, if we were to rank like the tier spider villains, he might be a C, and that might be generous based off of the conversation we've had.
it's tough. Like they tried to rehabilitate him so much that you could argue a C, but I feel like because if you just like purely look at the Scorpion as like the impact that he had as a villain, he started off strong and then floundered for
Just didn't
60
do
years.
anything, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, D's probably like if you're talking about in
Yeah.
terms of impact, yeah, he's not
Because
not a
even when he
big
was Venom, he
heavy
didn't
hitter.
have much to do. I mean, he was Venom in the Dark Reign storyline, which was a big deal, but even then, that was largely inconsequential.
There's a lot of that stuff seemed to be.
But anyway,
Oh, yeah.
Dylan, John's not here to talk about movies, but he's probably getting closer to 1,000. But what do you get up to
Yeah.
during the week?
I do a radio show where I talk about hedgehogs, I guess, and I also play music on the show. So if you like grunge music, or just if you like whatever music I like, which depends week to week, then listen to the show. It's available on online.
Mhm.
Go to bouncedigitalradio.ca. You can listen to my show at 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock. On Monday nights, you have to change the time. That's the UK time. So whatever you are in the world, just
Yep.
adjust.
Just adjust.
It's an hour behind. It's an hour. So in UK, it's 9 o'clock, but in Switzerland, it's 10 o'clock. So if you're in Switzerland, 10 o'clock.
If you're in the East Coast of America,
Um,
it's 5.
5 o'clock. So there you go. These we're hitting the two main markets
Yep.
of music.
East Coast America,
Yeah,
Switzerland.
Switzerland. Yeah. So there you go. Sometimes I stream on Twitch, but I haven't streamed on Twitch for a while. But Spooky LaRue on Twitch, where I draw stuff. I post it online on
Mhm.
Team Crow's YouTube page.
All right. I have another show called Large Old Cup and a writing project called Henry's Usual. Links to that, as well as Dylan's Twitch and the digital radio station, are in the description of the YouTube video as well as the notes on the podcast. As a reminder, if you're watching us on YouTube, we have this show in audio format anywhere where you can listen to podcasts. And if you're listening to the podcast format of this, you can see our lovely little faces as we discuss these very same topics to you. And you can see what the inside of our homes look like. Isn't that exciting?
White wall.
But until next time, you can find us on social media and stuff for Smark Avengers. We'll see you around next time, though. You all enjoy yourselves out there and start thinking of how you can be a better MacDonald Gargan.
Yes. Or if you are the Scorpion, try not to go insane.
Yeah. It seemed like he was doing okay until he went insane, and then it just like fell apart.
That's all. I would say that's the case for everybody that has gone insane
It's
at some point.
Seems to be a side effect of insanity. Things tend to fall apart.
As soon as you become insane, it all falls apart.
Ah, jeez. All
I
right.
wouldn't advise it.
Wouldn't advise it. If you're insane, try not to be. All right. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.